some breaking news for you.
Good morning, Notre Dame.
You're going to want a rain jacket.
Notre Dame men's basketball
coming out of the East region.
And can you get me a gym time?
Not only that, it was a shutout, of course.
For NDTV, I'm Abby Urban.
Good morning, Notre Dame. I'm Abby Urban. Welcome to ND Sunrise. We hope you had a great weekend. Coming up on the show today, we have highlights from this weekend's Blue Gold game, a look at the weather ahead of us, and we sit down with ND first-year student and recording artist Maria Wainscott. Stay tuned. In the last few days, many students have received their second doses of the Pfizer vaccine at the on-campus vaccination center. Many more will receive their second dose before the end of the day on Thursday. With all of these vaccines rolling out, let's take a look at our COVID dashboard for today. Continuing with our trend from the past few weeks, case numbers are extremely low. Yesterday, no new cases were reported, and the current semester total is 1,510 cases. The 7-day moving average is a mere 1.7 cases per day. And a little fun fact is that we went 3 whole days in a row with 0 cases reported. Let's take a moment to appreciate our efforts to stop the spread of COVID-19 here on campus. However, while we're seeing some of our lowest case counts of the year here on campus, globally the world is seeing its highest case counts of the entire pandemic, with India and South America driving these staggering figures. According to the New York Times, the average daily case numbers are around 373,000 in India. In countries with a smaller population like Brazil, the average daily cases are around 28 per 100,000 people, while India has about 27 per 100,000. You can monitor global case numbers and trends at nytimes.com. Since we are seeing such low case numbers on campus, more opportunities for social activities are becoming available. Activities like the Blue Gold game this weekend. If you missed it, ND Sports reporter Amanda Pirkowski has all of the highlights for you. Take it away, Amanda.
Hi, I'm Amanda, and this is Sports with Perk. Big ND Irish sports weekend, including the NFL draft and the Blue and Gold game. ND had a strong draft, with 9 names called during the 7 rounds of the NFL draft. Notre Dame had 10 players drafted in 1994 and 8 players in 2014, so this was a great year. Some surprises during the early rounds, led by the disappointment of the fall of JOK, a projected first-round lock, but he was eventually selected by the Cleveland Browns in the 2nd round. A welcome sight to Notre Dame fans included the ascension of Ian Book to round 4. If you ask me, Ian has a perfect place to start his NFL career with the New Orleans Saints, following in the footsteps of future Hall of Famer Drew Brees. Liam Eichenberg was picked by Miami and Aaron Banks by San Francisco in the 2nd round, followed by Tommy Tremble to the Carolina Panthers and Robert Hainsey to Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the 3rd round. Dalen Hayes selected by Baltimore and Addy by Atlanta in the 5th, and finally Ben Skoranek in the 7th by Los Angeles Rams. The Blue and Gold game delivered our first live viewing of the 2021 Irish football team. The format split the team into 2 equally matched squads. The skies were clear, however, a significant wind blew throughout the game. One would think such a format and weather conditions would favor the defense, and it definitely did. Defensive coordinator Marcus Freeman had his side of the ball moving fast and free and aggressively pursuing the ball. In the final score, Blue defeated Gold 17-3. Pine and Buckner led the Blue and Cone the Gold. The quarterback competition was definitely in full display throughout the entire game. Offensive coordinator Tommy Rees tested his players with a number of downfield passes over the top, and all 3 quarterbacks found some successes. In this first throw of his Notre Dame career, Cone completed his downfield pass to number 18, Joe Wilkins Jr. In this next video, Jack Cone demonstrates his mobility out of the pocket with a completion on the move to Avery Davis. Now, in his first highlight of Pine, he perfectly executes a 3rd and long pass. Buckner, however, led the Blue to 2 touchdowns. One bomb to speedster Braden Lenzy went all the way to the 1-yard line. The other, a well-executed drive finish with a nifty quarterback run to score. The quarterback competition will continue into fall camp. So that's all for Sports with Perk. I'm so excited for ND's first football game against Florida State in September. Back to you.
Thank you, Amanda. We always appreciate your sports coverage, and we can't wait to hear more about the Irish football team when we return next fall. Speaking of next fall, we only have 2 episodes left. The summer is quickly approaching, and this is one of our last episodes. So we are so grateful for you all joining us in the journey of creating ND Sunrise. We appreciate you all. We are just coming off of a beautiful weekend with 80-degree days and sunny skies. What a great way to start the month of May. But is this beautiful weather here to stay? Patrick Lomeli is here to let us know the latest forecast. Patrick?
Thank you, Abby. Hi, so great to see everyone again. Whether you're watching on Channel 57 here in Duncan or online on YouTube, I'm always happy to give you the weather forecast for this oncoming week. Before I move on to the weather, I do want to let you guys know, in case you didn't notice, I did get a haircut. This information will come in handy very soon. The past 2 days, South Bend could not decide what it wanted to be. Rainy, sunny, hot, warmish. It was kind of variable. It's like you just didn't know. The past 2 days, we reached a high of 82, and that was on Sunday. I was outside in the stadium watching the lovely Keenan Review. It was very sunny, and I did not anticipate how hot it would get. So I also got a haircut, like I said. So it was very hot and very sunny to the point where I had just terrible sunburn. You can see this arm. It's very white, and that is also very red. You can see on my face, there is a kind of a mask outline. If I can figure out how to make a straight line, you can see it. I promise I wear a mask outside of this weather report. And my scalp, oh, my poor scalp is very, very bad. It hurts to move my forehead, but it's okay, it's okay. Because we're also going to be getting some rain and partly cloudy. So as long as the sun doesn't hit my head anymore, I should be okay. Temperature-wise, though, even though we hit that high of 82, we're going to go back to low 35s and 55s again. And on the weekend, more rain, and then a lows of 45 and highs of 60s, which, you know, usually we're supposed to be sunny right now. And it's like, you know what, I can, let go of the sun for a little bit, you know. And then moving on to the 7-day forecast, more of the same, like low 40s, high 30s as lows. And then we're not going to hit a high of 60 again until this weekend. And then it's just going to go back to 58. As of right now, high of 58 going on to next week. And then we'll get some rain on a couple of days, mainly that Saturday, Sunday. But then like for the beginning of the week, well, we might get some rain on Thursday. All these rain chances are like 30s, 40s right now. And it's like, you should probably look ahead of time whether or not you want to bring your umbrella. Speaking of an umbrella, I really should have brought one because my scalp is burning. Otherwise, I think that's all I got for you guys. You guys have a great rest of your week, and back to you, Abby.
Thank you, Patrick. Oh, yes, your poor scalp. I'm sorry to hear that, Patrick, but hopefully this rain and some of this cooler weather soothes your scalp and allows you to get back to normal. Today, we have a special segment from our very own Anthony Rio, an interview with a first-year student who is also a recording artist. Pretty impressive. Let's learn more about Maria Wainscott. Anthony?
Good morning and welcome to this special interview segment. I'm joined on set with Maria Wainscott, who is a Notre Dame first year and a recording artist here at Notre Dame. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here today. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. It's so cool. At Notre Dame, we have so many talented people, so it's such an opportunity to be able to sit down with one of them, and it just gives us a reminder that there's so much talent here on this campus, and one of those people that brings talent here is Maria. Let's start from a Notre Dame perspective. What's the Notre Dame intro you tell everybody?
Well, here at Notre Dame, I'm studying pre-law and American Studies, but really what I like to bring to the table as well is my love for the arts. So I'm a recording artist from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I really like to integrate that into everything that I do here. So kind of bringing the creative into everything analytical and legal that I do here is really important to me to become the full, well-rounded, dynamic student here.
So pre-law, I heard that. I might dig a little bit more into that later.
Indeed.
So stay tuned. But tell me a little bit now about your recording artist experience. How did you get involved in music, and how has it brought you to where you are today?
Sure thing. So my mom was a professional dancer on Broadway, but how we like to say it in my family is she didn't have the vocal capabilities. So what we like to joke about a lot is we're not really quite sure where hers were, but they came out in me. So I kind of compensate for that. So I was always introduced to the arts at a young age. I was dancing from a really young age competitively, and then I also dabbled in music theater. But I think what we came to find was where my heart really was in music and in dance and in musical theater was the musicality aspect. So finding rhythms and singing was really where my love for music shined. And my parents recognized that at a really young age, and how I ended up really getting involved in the music industry was actually for Christmas, my parents decided to purchase me some recording studio time at a professional recording studio, and I ended up recording some cover songs. Those ended up getting picked up by a studio in Broadway that wanted to look for some talent that would potentially open for some gigs in Staten Island that year, and the year was 2014.
2014?
Yeah, so I was very, very young when I started, and then I ended up signing my first gig opening for the Phantom of the Opera at a pretty young age, and then from there everything just took off. So I started working with a production agency that kind of helped me along the way to get involved in some opportunities, basic songwriting at a really young age. And then from there, I really just blossomed into the songwriter, producer, singer that I am today. So that's really how I got started in terms of basic networking, etc.
Yeah, so back when I was playing B-team basketball, you were out here performing on Broadway or Staten Island. And, oh man, that's crazy.
It was very, very fun. I think it really introduced me to professionalism at a young age. I always knew that I wanted to be involved in the music industry. At what capacity, I wasn't necessarily sure of at the time, but I knew that I wanted to be singing, and I knew that it was going to have a lasting impact on my life forever. So
yeah, wow. Starting at a really young age, and now studying pre-law. I know we've talked a little bit about how the industry is so competitive.
Absolutely.
And you prioritize both school and music a little bit. Tell me a little bit more about how you balance the Notre Dame student experience, which we all know is terribly demanding, with being a rising recording artist, which is also terribly demanding.
For sure. I think all of my success goes back to my family and my support system. I think coupled with the family side of my support system, I'm currently signed to a label called Music Mastery. They're wonderful. My manager's name is Lisa Einhorn, and she basically dictates all of my meetings for the week, collaborations with songwriters, studio times, all that fun stuff. And then my executive producer, Charlie Walk, he will also help in organizing everything. And he basically is big picture man. So he looks at the final release date, how do we get there? And he also is wonderful with networking. So I would say to anyone who's involved in the music industry or looking to get involved in the music industry, who you know is incredibly important. Charlie knows all the right people, and so working with an executive producer who can help me get to where I need to be is most important. So I would say those two people, coupled with my family, my parents especially, providing me with support at all times is crucial to my success as both a recording artist and as a student here. And I would also just love to say that Notre Dame has been incredibly supportive in letting me use their recording facilities, their music facilities for all of my needs here as well. So it comes at the expense of a little bit of sacrifice in terms of how much time being a student here at Notre Dame really requires, and then also being a musical artist who has to collaborate with artists and producers across the country in different time zones. You really don't think about all of those components, but that's what you're dealing with when you are an artist where the industry's heart is really not in South Bend, not in the Midwest at all.
No, wait, really?
Really. It's really hard to coordinate with these big executive heads that are really based in New York City and in Los Angeles, California. But honestly, with the coronavirus, it's really taught me a lot on how I can really make it work. We've done everything virtually, but tuning into important meetings via Zoom has actually been doable, and we've had to make it work with COVID-19.
Wow. I'd love to hear more about that, but before we cut the interview short for our Sunrise viewers, which, by the way, you can see the full interview on YouTube if you're only watching this during our morning sunrise. Tell me a little bit more about what's on the way for Maria Wainscott. What do you have out right now? Where can people find you? And what should we expect in the coming months?
Awesome. Well, currently I have a single out called Moved by the Feeling.
Which is awesome, by the way.
Thank you. It is an electronic song. It was made for festival and club settings. That was my first release, and it was a really wonderful experience. I'm currently on Spotify and Apple Music, Amazon as well. So you can find me anywhere, and my artist name is my name, which is helpful. Also, what's coming up on the way are much more rhythmic pop songs. So I've collaborated with some really amazing artists to produce lots of content that will hopefully begin to release a little before the summer. And I think it should be really exciting. My executive producer always shares with me that an artist is a brand and a brand is a promise. And what is your promise? So I always like to tell people that my brand and promise is my authenticity. So I really, really like to communicate through all of my music just really important messages regarding just self-worth, and I think that all of those come through in all of these songs. So yeah, it's getting really excited as we're getting closer to the release date, but lots of music on the way for sure.
Yeah, and if you haven't listened to Moved by the Feeling, then totally go out there, look it up. It's on Spotify, Apple Music,
Absolutely.
wherever you get your music, it'll be there, and listen to it. We play it in the studio all the time because it bops.
It's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah.
It's definitely fun to hear myself.
Make sure to follow Maria so that you can stay up to date with everything else that she has coming out. And we're going to take a short break. If you're watching this on ND Sunrise, make sure to head over to the YouTube channel so you can see the full interview. But we'll be back in just a second.
Thank you, Anthony. So great to learn about Maria's work. You know, we'll definitely have to look out for her upcoming songs. It's very exciting. And as we wrap up this semester, it is so great to acknowledge the incredible work that students are producing. If you are interested in viewing some of these creative projects, make sure to attend a festival of short videos, the final presentation for the class, Creating Theater and Film as Social Action. The festival focuses on what we memorialize and how we do it. It will premiere on YouTube today at 7:30 p.m. And you might be sick of hearing about it, but networking is a tool that could help you to reach your career dreams. However, if you're still intimidated by the process, there's no need to worry. The Marullo Family Center for Career Development will be hosting a session entitled Networking, Not as Scary as It Seems, on Wednesday, May 5th from 4 to 5 p.m. Make sure to sign up on Handshake to claim your spot and get started on your career plans. And if you're looking for a little retail therapy, why not visit the semi-annual pottery sale? The event is back after a year-long hiatus, and it will offer one-of-a-kind pieces created by talented artists. The sale will take place today through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. just outside of Riley Hall. Even if you're not looking to buy a piece, you can stop by and appreciate the art. And for more events, you can always check the Week at ND Digest in your email. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. For all of our regular ND Sunrise watchers, you know you can find us every Tuesday and Thursday morning from 5 to 9:30 a.m. on Channel 57. But if you're not an early bird, which I understand, you can always find our episodes with the latest news on campus on our NDTV YouTube channel under the ND Sunrise playlist. And to stay updated with all things here at NDTV, you can follow us on our social media platforms. You can find us at Notre Dame Television on Instagram, at Notre Dame TV on Twitter, and as I said before, Notre Dame Television on YouTube. Here at NDTV, we're doing all that we can to keep you updated. And if what we do here at NDTV is something that interests you, or maybe something you'd like to try, you can email ndtv@nd.edu or stop by our studio on the second floor of the Duncan Student Center. We are always looking for new members, so don't be shy. We don't bite. From working on camera to speaking at the anchor desk, we have a range of roles to be filled here at NDTV. So if you'd like to join, just send us an email or come down to the studio. We would love to have you. And with that, we have come to the end of today's morning news. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Abby Urban, and from all of us here in the studio, we wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you, and go Irish.